The FromSoft games are my favorite video games for several reasons. They have truly saved my life. The message Miyazaki is trying to teach us, don't you dare go hollow, is that we should never give up. Even when things look their darkest, we can always find a way to overcome them. If we use our wits and wills, there is always a way to overcome any challenge, even when it seems impossible. I truly love these games with all my soul, and it's why I've put thousands of hours into them. Bloodborne. The lore is unique in the Souls series. The gameplay is significantly different from the other games. The rally mechanic, being able to get back health after a short time and thereby having a more aggressive play style. The content in the game is more my style. I like the horror aspect, the Lovecraftian feel of the game. The game is based off of a lot of aspects of H.P. Lovecraft's horror style and stories. The game isn't too long and can be beaten in a few hours, if wanted. There's no reuse of areas like in some of the other games, and there's even additional areas like the Chalice dungeons that are optional. The base game and DLC have some of the best bosses in the series. Orphan, of course, Lady Maria, Father Gascoigne, some of the Chalice bosses, and Ebrietas. Also, I swear the doll in the Hunter's Dream is a real person. She's not just a piece of code, but is sentient. Dark Souls 1. This was one of my first Souls games ever, and it has a special place in my heart. Despite that, I still think this game has some real strengths to why someone should play this game first and why it stands out above some of the other Souls games. First of all, the lore for Dark Souls 1 is amazing, and is what really got me hooked into the series. Finding out little pieces of it is like finding pieces of a puzzle and putting it all together to see the bigger picture. It's a game that makes you think about the world you're playing through, why things are the way they are, and why they ended up this way, and what your role as the character is in all of it. Secondly, the gameplay in this game is easier than the other games, except for Demon Souls, and makes it the easiest in the series to get into the first games. Thirdly, the world design up until Ornstein and Smoo is truly the best in the series.
Elden Ring. I was blown away, playing through the lands between, and it gave me that same feeling I had when playing Dark Souls 1 for the first time. The lore was some of the best in the whole series, and I love Miyazaki's style of indirect storytelling. The gameplay is truly amazing in Elden Ring, and it felt like a combination of the gameplay from several of the other Souls games, such as Bloodborne, Sekiro, and the Souls games. The world design and music in the game were incredible and made the atmosphere of the game one of the most memorable games I've ever played. I felt like I was playing through a Lord of the Rings style environment, and the quests made the game so jam-packed full of things to do. One great thing about Elden Ring is that you are rewarded for your curiosity, and this always made me want to explore every little part of the lands between, and got me to see basically every single part of the lands between in my first playthrough.
I found this game to be incredibly beautiful. The scenery, design and gameplay are probably my favourite in the whole Souls series. I think the gameplay, besides Bloodborne's and Mega Man's, is the greatest I've ever played in a video game. The sheer variety of movesets and combination of moves made this one of the most fun games I've ever played, and truly made me want to master this game. Sekiro has great lore and an amazing storytelling style that makes you feel like you're playing through an old-school kung fu movie. The enemies are challenging and can be frustrating to fight at first, but once you master the gameplay mechanics, it becomes very rewarding to beat them. The stagger mechanic is something truly brilliant that I still think the other games should do more to integrate into them. Dark Souls 3. This was the first Souls game I ever played, and I absolutely loved the PvP. Playing through this game with my friends and fans will always bring back amazing memories of all the great people I've met through this game. This game sucked me into the series and never let me go. The lore made me interested to find out more about the other games, and the gameplay made me fall in love with the Souls series. The gameplay is challenging yet fair. After playing through all the games and revisiting Dark Souls 3, I found that the game and its lore can feel very repetitive. I didn't like it as much as I used to. Otherwise, this game would be higher up on the list. Dark Souls 2. I actually like this game and have had quite a lot of fun playing through it. It's just not my favorite in the series, and for several reasons. The jank in this game is terrible and makes you want to throw your controller through the screen. I've had to quit out several times because of glitches that completely destroyed the experience. The glitches are fun to exploit though, and are very useful for speedruns and challenge runs. Also, the world design I found to be a bit confusing and less thought out compared to the other games. The enemies are also mostly big melee-based knights, which I enjoyed as a melee strength character, but it became a bit too repetitive. I do enjoy this game though, as it is one of the easiest in the Souls series. Demon Souls. This was the last game I played in the series, and I found it incredibly easy to play through compared to the other games. I really enjoyed the world design and the lore. Also, it is a really iconic game to play through. The enemies became a bit repetitive and were really easy compared to enemies in the other games. I enjoyed the NPC quest lines though, and it being the first in the series, we wouldn't have any of the other games without it. After playing through King's Field, I can see a lot of related content and can't believe how easy Demon Souls is compared to King's Field. This has been my favorite games, the Souls games from best to worst, and my reasons for each choice. Hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll see you all next time.